act is over. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to put this filth behind us.
Phenomenal.
You can get it chomping. You can get it mopping. You can get it reading the phone. A hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer. And the best cold beer is Vic. A long cold Vic.
It's so hard to have a gay time on your own. It could be that great chalk and biscuit coating.
So hard to have a gay time on your own.
It could be that smooth toffee ice cream in the center, or that whole delicious golden gay time taste.
Hard to have a gay time on your own.
Street's Golden Gay Time, now available in...
I'm Danny, and I'm here to call out all you crack pack bitches. You think I don't see you there? I'm the OG of this shit. But you come after the king, you better come correct. I'm Danny, motherfucker. Who are you? Crack pack. You smoke crack. You better watch your back.
I am a maverick. I am a savage. I am a legend. I am a madman. You never know what I'm going to do next. I am a mad lad.
What is up, all you mad lads, bogans, and super awesome cool people out there in the chat? Wow, we got 39 people in here already, which leads me to believe 42. It's jumping up. Hang on, let me refresh Rumble here because I just put the link to Rumble for those of you want to watch on the alt tech platforms. We've got 5 watching over there. Excellent. I feel like we might not be up streaming against 200 people, 200 other CG streamers tonight. Hopefully, maybe we'll see. Even if we are, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us to be here. Calm down, calm down. We got a whole hour of fun show going. I don't have to spit it all out in 5 seconds. We're gonna laugh at some Heidi McDonald shenanigans, which you don't normally do on this channel, but it's too interesting to ignore, and it ties in with the ongoing conversation about comic book sales, what that means, and the hot trending topic, which is Comixology layoffs, which I see a lot of people are doing videos on. So I thought, let's do that. But most importantly, our very good friend Narwhal will be joining us very shortly, and we'll be going through his compendium. That will be later on in the show. Before we do any of that, we must stand on tradition. Oh, I just got a little notification there that Zaid Comics and their viewers have just joined. Hello, Zaids. I listened to that. I listened to your show where they were talking like this for an hour and a half. It was entertaining, weirdly enough. I enjoyed it. Hey, yo, all you Zayders. Let me go up to the top here because this man right here snagged first pole position. So I will be nudging this over here and popping him in. Well done, David G. I think that's twice in a week or so. So fantastic work. Everyone, make sure you are subbed to Zaid Comics. They put on a very fun show. They have probably the most fun set. I like the whole format of it. 72 people. Wow, this show's kicking off. Love to see it happen. Enrique's here joining us. Voyager's 3rd. Athaline is 4th. How's Your Father was 5th. I was 6th. Norin Rad was 9th. Dark Lord Fudd, he didn't want to join in. He was just like, hey, guys, here's the first like, which counts. Charlie Chan is here. How am I a boomer? Awesome one. I hope I'm not booming. Felix Huss, the link master, is in the chat. Thank you for all your very hard work recently, Felix. You've been living up to the Triple Crown winner title. So thank you for continuing. Neff's here. How you going, Neff? Hail, Neff. Sark, American Comics. Who else we got in here? I see Jennifer Grover's having technical difficulties. I hope she gets them sorted. Always great to see Jennifer in the chat. 80s Mate is here. Frankly, Hyper Wizard. So many great people like Eric Grant, Adam Kemper. Corey Barton's here. Oh, my goodness. We're blessed with a Barton tonight. Grey Wolf. You know who I'm looking for. It's this man right here, Mr. Mo Biggs, which means when I come to Mo Biggs, then it's time to send our guest the link. If I can just find Twitter. I've got so many friggin' windows open here. All right. Narwhal has the link. Excellent. And while we're waiting for Narwhal to pop in, let me just say hello to Dojo Coon, Garrett Graves. I don't think I've ever attended a live stream of a country that doesn't exist. This should be interesting. I can assure you, Garrett, I'm a real boy. I live in the real world. I know you don't believe it. Whoa, 6 ways to someday. New member. Hail, thank you so much. I haven't posted something new in the membership section for a while. I apologize to that. I'm trying to get back into it. Rod has just been super busy with other stuff. I've been super busy with other stuff. So it's like I haven't had much new to post, but that will be coming very shortly. So thank you very much to not only to the members who stuck around, but also the people out there who purchase memberships as gifts. You know I love you. All right. I hear a boop, which means the show must go on. I apologize to everyone who I can't say hello to, but I'm being joined by the standing man with a plan, Narwhalia.
Oh, I didn't see you there. How's it going?
Hang on. I didn't see you there either. Oh, fancy meeting.
We're just
what are you drinking there
now?
now?
Each other while drinking coffee. I got
I'm
one of these
drinking
mugs
tea,
that keeps
so-
it warm. You see that?
Yeah, I thought all mugs do that. Is that a special mug? It's got like a heater thing at the bottom.
Yeah, you got to like charge it,
That
but it doesn't
LED.
hold as much coffee as you think because there's like a battery
Yeah.
at the bottom. Which I
See,
don't know.
that's why you drink tea, Narwhal. You boil tea at 100 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is Fahrenheit. It's boiling. You boil it. Whereas I don't think you do that with coffee. If you do that with coffee, you would burn it. But I don't have to worry about fancy mugs, thankfully.
Yeah, how
how you going?
Your tea, how do you keep your tea hot though, or does it if it gets cold, it's
You
still
just
good?
drink it. Yeah. No, like even a big mug, if it starts at boiling, 212. Yeah.
You got that
if
window
it starts
where
at
it's
boiling,
perfect.
you got it. I mean, because you can't drink boiling water, so you got to let it sit for a little while.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
trying to educate an American on the ways of the tea, which you guys very famously rejected back in 1775 or something.
Yeah, we threw it all into the ocean, famously. Yeah.
And Mo
I'm-
says
I'm
we don't
open-minded.
understand your commie measurements.
Yeah. I'm open-minded about tea. I give it a go here and there, but I keep coming back to coffee. Coffee's a legit drug though. Like you're actually
Yeah.
a drug addict if you like coffee. And if you quit, you get
Yeah.
headaches and stuff.
You get that
I
hit.
look forward
Yeah,
to it in the morning. I'm like,
you get migraines if you don't drink. So it's like, yeah, it feels like smoking. But luckily for me, I don't actually like the taste of coffee. I love the smell,
Yeah.
but I don't like the taste. So it works for me. Corey is a trader, a dirty trader, who says coffee is 100 times better than tea. Are you
Once you
even
go
Australian,
coffee-
bro?
it's like upgrading from just snorting cocaine to smoking it.
Pete Callan says, who is apparently a super chatter supreme, says support Narwhal. He needs heat. What does he mean? You need heat. Thank you for the super chat, by the way.
I think because I'm wearing a big coat and stuff. It's still
You do
winter.
look cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got
Is
the air
it-
conditioning on. We're from completely different ends of this earth.
I was gonna say because you're on the southern hemisphere, so it must be like
Yeah.
summer for you.
It is summer, but it's not that hot. It's like, it's a little bit hot. It's more comfortable to have the aircon in here, especially when I'm streaming, because I sometimes get a bit heated in here. Jennifer Grover for 10. Holy cow, Michael, at work, we have a new IT group based in Australia. Are they really based in Australia? or are they in the Philippines and just say they're based in Australia? They're probably from India. But anyway, I have to ask if you know them because for some reason I assume that you know everyone that lives in Australia. There's 25 million of us, Jennifer. I think there's slightly less Australians than Canadians, but we're on about the same size of a country. So it's actually, we like your other neighbors on the other side of the Pacific, sort of. But thank you for the super chat, nonetheless. Now, Walio is beholden to no natural gas purveyor, says Gordon Goodbrother. I'll take your word on it. I don't know what that's about.
I think that means I get by with just my coat. He's saying.
All right. Do that. I also just want to give a shout out to the Rumblers watching now. I see you over there, Louis, Vilned, Rayton, and Jeremy's over there as well with the original name, the Lord Crackhead name, which brings back memories. Now, we're going to get into the compendium.
Cool. And I like what you're talking about, McDonald too. I want to go through some of that. I've
only just become aware because I don't read those sites, but I've become aware of those sites since I started covering comic and pop culture stuff. Yeah. And she's an interesting person. But for anyone who isn't aware, Nawal has a campaign. It's available here on Indiegogo. I'll put the link. I'll pin the link. That's probably a good idea.
Yeah. And real quick too, I'm promoting the mailing list also. I'm sharing it if you want to throw it up real fast, but any mods, like the mailing list is almost more. I'm promoting it more than.
Let's do that then. Do you want me to promote the mailing list or the compendium? What do you want to put it?
Let's do the mailing list, I guess. Yeah, because the compendium, I'll give it one final push before it closes. It'll be open like another week, but it's kind of like, ran its course a little bit, and it's awesome.
Can you put that link in the private chat so I can grab that?
Yeah.
I knew you had multiple things on. I knew you would come in with stuff. You've always got things in the fire burning.
Yeah.
All right.
Totally. I'm sure you can relate, but you know how when you're setting up a print file, the pages have to be like a factor of 4 or whatever. So sometimes you'll be done and you're like, crap, I need 2 more pages. What do I put in for the print file? And so I did a Narwhal past and future. And the Narwhal future is like what's coming, and there's 3 or 4 cool books coming up. But
all right, private chat, come on.
Oh yeah, here it is.
There it is. Excellent. All right,
that was fast.
And you get your referral number as well. Okay, here it is. Here it's incoming. There it is. I will replace the pinned message. If you didn't get onto Rumble, I guess tough titties. So we've got Cerebrus and also the Narwhal Shorts Compendium. So one of them is the mailing list. That's Cerebrus. We'll go through that. We'll go through a little bit of the compendium because I saw you put some new stuff on there. I want to check that stuff out later.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. Here's Cerberus. It's colored by me and Jared Jewell, art by Monica McAgney of Monster MD fame. So it's my first kind of big collaboration with another artist. So it's
legendary Monica, one of my favorites. I helped Von with the pre-press on Monster MD, so I got to actually check it out. I didn't read it because I wanted to wait until I get it, but man, she is an absolute vicious savage of an artist, and I can't remember who she's teaming up with on the colors there, but it's just like it's the bee's knees.
Yeah, she's such a pro, maybe the most pro. Yeah, I mean, I haven't worked with that many artists, but with her, it's like you write the script, she'll draw exactly what you write. So you can be very empowered to write whatever you want, kind of. And I was a little worried. I'm like, because I was self-conscious. I was like, am I doing it right? Like, how should I do the script or whatever? And she's like, we're going to realize your vision. So just tell me what you want and I'll do it. And I was like, this is awesome.
Mo's pointing out that I've had a Finatra moment. I did. Did I say Cerebrus? It's Cerberus.
Oh yeah, Cerberus. It's the 3-headed Greek dog. That's kind of the word. That's what it's like alluding to.
Excellent. All right. Well, the links are out there. We'll get back to that a little bit later. But first, we must check this out. It all started here. Okay. It started here on The Beat, which I think is that's the site that one Heidi McDonald is the editor-in-chief of. Again, I don't go to these sites. I don't really know much about it. Oh, you know, I'm going to swap up thingos here because this is sort of more my pace here, my style. I like to go full screen. What's Jennifer Grover saying? Michael, do you think we can all defeat the World Economic Forum? Comicsgate?
She's trying to distract us. But
maybe. I hope that we can. Jennifer. I don't know how to do that.
I don't know if it's true, but I saw a tweet of a guy saying they've just flown in 3,000 prostitutes to Davos. Yeah.
Maybe that's what we do. We cut off their hooker supply and they'll just shrivel up and go. They're like, I got into this globalist conspiracy for the hookers, you know. And like,
yeah,
if there's no hookers, I'm not interested.
They go where the hookers go.
Corey points out, and here we go. This is the whole crux of the discussion tonight. I see manga. You're right, Corey Barton. You do see manga. This is Chainsaw Man, I believe. Adult graphic novels sales rose 4.6 in 2022. I couldn't find it, but I think overall comic book sales fell. I read that somewhere. No one quote me on that, but I think overall comic book sales fell, but graphic novel sales did in fact rise. This is something that Heidi McDonald wrote just a couple of days ago. Kind of like a bit of a rah, look at this, let's put a positive spin on what's going on here. And it's as you said, where is it? It's like, she says, we can assume, since this is the adult list we're talking about, it's safe to assume that most of these sales are manga. Okay, so put a pin in that. And then there's also, she's talking about kids' graphic novels. Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Diaper Overload. I think Victoria's got that book. Or maybe these are the books. I know they're graphic novels. Anyway, she's been on this kick lately saying, you know what we need? You know what we desperately need? We need to have regular, accurate sales charts. That's been a whole kick lately. She seems to be working with the assumption that if only we had regular sales charts for mainstream comics, then everyone would just relax and feel better. Positivity would spread amongst comics Twitter, because currently out there, if you like get outside the CG space on comic book Twitter, it's, you can imagine what it's like. It is doom and gloom. People aren't getting paid. Remember that? People like all these companies aren't paying everyone.
Yeah, that was just like a few weeks ago. Yeah.
That was just a few weeks ago. Comic book shops closing. And then there's actually on this website, they were like, 3 comic book shops opened. Your boy Zach did a video on it. I don't know if you saw it. It was like, well, actually, 1 opened, and then the other 2 were at flea markets.
Yeah,
and they
like
were closed on Wednesdays. Yeah. So they're just people with collections selling their back issues. Like, that's not what we would think of when we think, oh, look, comic book shops are opening. It's all right. Yeah. It's fine.
It's this semantics game that extends all the way through media. Is the gaslighting of the media is like redefining words and everything.
Yes. Gaslighting. Yes. Put a pin in that as well, because we're going to come back to that. 40% Zed said these people are the dumbest people alive, though. They can't fathom the lack of reporting is specifically to hide abject failure. I don't know where they found it, but Yanzi and Shane did a video where they actually found, I don't know what it's from, but they actually did find a list of sales from 2020 to 2021 or 2021 to 2022. I don't know. It was probably like a monthly thing. It's probably very specific, but it showed a complete halving of sales numbers, and they were already low to begin with. They, in the top 10 selling 20,000 or something, which when CG started and your boy Zach used to do those videos, those numbers were in the hundreds of thousands. Yeah. He was already saying, this is terrible. This is a disaster.
Yeah. Cause the peak, it was like millions, like in the 90s. And then people are like, well, it's different now. It's spread out more, blah, blah, blah. You're like, I don't know, maybe. And then, just like 4 years ago, the peak was 100,000 or so, was like what Batman was doing. And now it just keeps going lower and lower.
All right. So Heidi McDonald gets out there and tweets this. I don't know if you can interpret that. Let me zoom in here. So she tweets her own article there, retweets it. Finally, just for the, I don't know what this, like blue man heart. I don't know what that means. And here's like some hieroglyphics. Who would spend the time figuring that out?
Yeah.
Like, how do you even type that?
Yeah, that took her all day. She had to ask
I know.
the crowdfunding just
Yeah,
to finish that.
you mustn't have much to do. Jetto Jargo points out X-Men by Jim Lee sold 8.2 million copies. These numbers aren't even real anymore. Like that is just outside of reality.
Yeah.
Like 8.2 million copies. Jennifer's back. Michael, I'm so afraid for everyone. I hate the World Economic Forum. Also, Narwhal is a cutie.
Oh,
Hello.
thanks, Jennifer.
I think
Asha.
Jennifer's taken though Narwhal. So I don't know what your love life is like at the moment, but thank you for the super chat again, Jennifer.
Mhm.
All right. So yeah. So this is for the comics are dying. No, what are these? No crowd. No, they are not. And then straight away, people are like, it's manga. And this person says like woke comics don't sell squat. She changed the subject. Oh, manga is woke. And then she thinks having female readers and creators and Asian themes equals woke.
Yeah. That's like moving the goalpost. It almost feels like she's ceding his point, kind of. It's like, it is just manga that's selling good, but manga is also progressing my worldview. So I'm going to say that that's okay or something.
Anyway, they get into a bit of discussion over what woke is, which is an ongoing thing. This is exactly it, the gaslighting. They've been celebrating woke. And as Corey points out, manga is not woke. They've been celebrating wokeness for years now. And then when you call them out on it and you take a stance against it, all of a sudden they turn around and say, the first of all, they say like, oh, woke, whatever. And then they say, oh, that's not even a thing. What is that? You can't even define that. They get into a bit of a discussion about how she's like, where did you think woke is anything and everything not straight, white, male orientated? You sound like what you accuse Comicsgate of being. So she asks what it is. And thank you to Comicsgate 1 for sharing one of my cartoons. She isn't going to watch it. She's like, I'm not watching a video because I'm not giving money to anyone by watching that video. I don't even know if those videos are monetized, but anyway. No one has ever explained what woke means when I ask. I read that so much. No one can define woke. You just think woke is whatever you don't like. And thankfully enough, people stepped in to answer the call. Here's Ethan. Woke means fervently believing that humanity is divided into oppressed and oppressor classes, and that racism, sexism, and homophobia are systemically built into every aspect of society. Its devotees are activists who force correction with artificial race and gender quotas. And what's our first response is to correct his incorrect grammar.
That's more like moving the goalpost kind of thing.
Again, isn't it? It's a little deflection. It's just a little to point out. And funnily enough, she does the same thing. She does the same thing later. She makes a mistake and someone points it out to her as well. Tit for tat. Jasper Play 9, $20. Wow. Thank you so much, man. Mike, this is all bait. Response videos like this, validate them. I don't know how they validate them. I know it's bait, but I don't mind bait. I don't mind the exchange. I get the exchange, like responding to their silliness, because I do believe that in that interaction, in that exchange, transaction, we actually get a lot more out of it than they do.
That's a good point.
Like, I look at Ripper. Like, Ripper does this he does it to the nth degree. He will take any comment and monetize the hell out of it. That's how I see it anyway.
Yeah. I was telling my roommates that I'm going on with you, and I'm like, yeah, we're going to talk about like how manga is selling better than American comics, and they're like, why are American comics selling bad? And I was like, well, it's all politics. Like they're turning everyone into lesbians, and they're like, oh yeah, and I'm like, yeah, they made Superman get raped in prison, and they made Joker get pregnant, and they're like, what? So they kind of got red pilled immediately. Like it's easier than you think for normies now to snap in and kind of understand what's going on.
Yeah, it used to be a bit more hidden. And I get these comments all the time where it's like, oh, where is this woke stuff? Where is it? And I'm like,
Yeah.
You want me to go to this mountain that we've collected and pull out a piece and you pull out a piece, they'll say, well, that's just one thing. That's just one example. That could just, and so I just like, look, I'm not going to spend, like, we've been spending years now highlighting all this stuff. Thank you for the super chat though, Jasper. I will be doing more of those videos that we talked about the other day. Absolutely. They just sort of take time to put together. I think you got to try everything. But I definitely think pointing and laughing at these people is a valid response to them. Daniel Fortan, Marvel and DC own their artwork. They can make their own AI system sampling all their accumulated art. In their desperation, Marvel and DC will turn to AI art and it will destroy originality. I hadn't even thought of that, Daniel. I didn't
That's
see why
hilarious.
they couldn't. Yeah.
That sounds like true, kind of. If you just think of
I absolutely believe they would. Why would they pay people when they can just click a button? Thank you for the super chat, Daniel. Anyway, yeah, so they have a bit of a back and forth. I responded at one point as well. Just giving a definition. Ethan's like, yeah, you've got to be able to give a definition when people ask, because it is a constant gaslighting event for them to just say, oh, either woke doesn't exist or you can't define it. You don't know what it is. You're just an angry white male. Jennifer Grover for 5. Oh, sorry, go on.
Go ahead. Oh, I was just going to say real quick, and Ethan's definition was really good. It was like academic critical theory. He pretty much took it straight out of what they've been saying for 20 years, 30, 40 years. So, yeah. And then so the fact that Heidi McDonald won't kind of believe that, she goes, I find that simplistic or whatever. I'm like, yo, that's like word for word from the critical theory like booklets.
Yeah, what was that? Where was that?
Like they use that definition. Yeah. That's what they say. They say for the longest time they've said like racism is inherent in America and it exists in all tiers and we need to undo it or something like that, you know.
Yeah, well, she's saying here that it's effective in selling your books to people who don't want to feel like they're participating in a system of oppression. So she's like validating exactly what Ethan has said. So, okay, you believe this. This is what we're defining. You believe it. You reiterate it. But then you want to say that it's not a thing or it's not a problem or like, that they cannot fathom that there are other people out there who do not agree with the actual premise, the actual thesis of their worldview.
Yeah, because in their worldview, sorry, one more thing. In their worldview, woke like doesn't have a definition because it is the baseline of existence, kind of. So it'd be like us trying to define like the air we breathe or whatever.
They do use the definition. It's the same as feminism. This is the same argument that was happening when people first started hitting back against feminism in a big way. Their go-to argument was, look up the dictionary. Feminism just means equality for women, right?
Yeah.
And then they could just run rampant doing the craziest crap because they can always just point back and say, but we're just for equality for women. It's the same as the Democratic Republic of North Korea or whatever it is. It's like, hey, we're democratic. We're, even despite whatever they do. So woke to them just means being aware of systemic oppression, right? So if you come back to them and say, well, I don't even agree that systemic oppression still exists, then you're going to get that response. I'll hit these super chats here. Jennifer Grover, once I find these guys' names who are RT guys who are Australian, then I'm going to ask you if you know them, however unlikely. I'm 100% sure, Jennifer, that I don't know them. But thank you for trying anyway. I don't know many IT people. Did I miss another super chat here? No, it's just showing up twice. Okay. I think I did miss a Bogan chat, though. Hold on a sec. David G. Got my notification this morning for the shipment of Kozor on the 20th. Can't wait to read it and study the line art and in the black and white copy. Hal Barton Bros. Hal David G. Excellent. Yeah, I'm waiting on mine as well. Okay. Mo's in here saying hello to people. We've got 146 people watching on YouTube. We have 11 watching on Rumble. Hell, that's a lot of people. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Please do hit that subscribe button if you like discussions like this. And cool. And then on top of that, promoting cool indie comics, most importantly. And cool indie people. Is there anything else in here that I wanted to show? I think it was just people responding to that, because this is what this is another tweet. She's like, look at this weekly sale charts. Why can't we have nice things like this? This is the Shonen Jump weekly sale chart sitting there like 300,000, 300,000, 200,000. Like, does she believe this? Does she believe that this is what it would look like in America?
In America, it would be like 10, 20, 50. It's like so embarrassing. Some of those.
There might get one over 100, maybe, but maybe not. And then all the rest would be, you get like 40, 30, 10, 5, like it would, that's what it would look like. But here's the crux. We find out that that's not quite what she is, what she's talking about. There's some really cool, actually, your boy Zach did a community post on this. There's some really good discussion going on in his replies to that. Like, people are pointing out, like, there's a difference between graphic novel and trade paperback. Are they counting trade paperbacks in the graphic novel sales? And if the individual floppy comics aren't selling, can there even be trade paperbacks going forward? Or does everything have to sort of come out as graphic novels? Can that even work? There's a lot of, anyway, there's a lot of cool discussion around that. But I think she kind of tipped her hand here. She's in a discussion with Ethan here. And they're just doing a bit of back and forth. And Ethan said, my followers and I are angels. The vicious insults are being hurled by woke activists within comics who have used corrupt media platforms and cancel culture to make this business unprofitable and inhospitable. I can hear the cartoons reading this. For creative people and customers, when will you stop hurting comics? She says, sure, Jan. And then there's the hashtag angels, making money angels in there. He says, please stop killing comics. You, Rich Johnson, and your wackadoo friends, you aren't making anyone want to buy comics. You aren't helping inspire anyone to make comics that anyone wants to read. You aren't even making any money yourself. Just stop and apologize. Now, here's the response that I think is very telling here. Seeing as the tweet that started this twaddle was about how comics are not being killed, I think I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. Of course, if by comics you mean specifically big two superhero American comics, then yes, there are a few issues that you conveniently ignore. Ethan retweeted that saying, oh, so you do admit it. You do admit it, that there is a big issue with when people talk, like in this circle this whole time, and this is what you said it at the start, the gaslighting and the goalpost moving. When people talk comics, they're talking about the Western American industry, which is predominantly, it's not 100%, but predominantly Marvel and DC superhero books. So yes, when we say comics are dying, the mainstream is dying, that's what we're talking about. When you come back and include any book with a picture in it and say, oh, you're an idiot, we see what you're doing. And then she's just sort of admitting it. Now, here's what I think. I'm going to play you a video. And I think it explains, I figured out, I think, what Heidi McDonald is up to here in doing this, in sort of this tap dance that she's doing. And you let me know how this applies. Think of, there's a journalist in the video I'm going to play. That's Heidi McDonald.
We've just lost the picture, but what we've seen speaks for itself. The Corvair spacecraft has apparently been taken over, conquered, if you will, by a master race of giant space ants. It's difficult to tell from
That's
this
manga.
vantage point whether they will consume the captive Earthmen or merely enslave them. One thing is for certain, there is no stopping them. The ants will soon be here. And I, for one, welcome our new insect overlords. I'd like to remind them that as a trusted TV personality, I can be helpful in rounding up others to toil in their underground sugar caves.
Is that where that meme comes from, where people say, "I
Yes.
for one welcome our black
Yes.
blank
Yes,
overlords"?
that's correct. It's the Rod episode from Rod We Trust. Yeah. So I think what's happening is she's like, all right, we are now just going to define comics as everything well, really, when I say everything now, everything is manga. That's what it is, like manga and YA novels. Graphic novels. So that's what it is. So moving forward, she's just like, well, I want to stay the editor-in-chief of the comics bit. That's what I said. It's like, oh, I get it. You're just trying to keep your job. That explains all this gaslighting.
Mhm.
Because if it's just okay, we're just gonna swap to manga now. Now when we speak comics, we're just talking about manga now, essentially, because all that other stuff is just, has been taken over. It's been conquered. And now we're just gonna celebrate, even though, like, as an American creator, you don't get to participate in the manga industry. That's theirs. Like, they will not let you in. They will not give that up. All the money goes to Japan. It's its own thing. So, even though all of the professionals working in the American comic book industry have to go and find something else to do, and all of the fans who were enjoying, superhero American comics have to, I guess, learn to love manga. We're just going to celebrate. We're just going to continue celebrating that comics are doing great and graphic novel sales are up this and this is up that. You can go buy Berserk now for $29.99.
Yeah, the journalist ilk are one of the only kind of people that are able to pivot and still
Exactly, because they get to, in this exchange in the new sugar caves, they get to keep their jobs. The artists, American comic artists don't. The fans don't get to keep their new comics. But they do. They get to keep saying, they get to keep putting out their articles and getting paid ostensibly.
That's a good point. And that's a funny way where it's still like kind of like a race to the bottom, or there's no checks and balances to, like, what they used to call journalism, like the fourth column or whatever. Like, there's nothing like that going on. There's no, like, kind of like, there's no providing of an objective truth of the situation. In fact, it's what you're saying. It's mostly just gaslighting, and it's for their own benefit.
Yes. Yeah. And Zach's been pointing this out now for a while, that these, all the pros are freaking out because they're not getting paid, and companies are facing bankruptcy, and Comixology is facing massive layoffs. So everyone's freaking the F out, except comic book journalists, because they just get to spin it and say, oh no, it's not the doom of comics. It's just a new chapter. People are interested in different things now, and it'll be fine. It's all just moving forward, but it'll look. But they don't actually acknowledge that it's different. They just pretend like going all the way back through time. It's manga's always been there. It's always comics.
Yeah.
I got to grab these super chats here from Jason Sandberg for 5. Tricky Heidi is counting the build instructions that come in IKEA furniture as comics. Don't be fooled.
the survival pamphlets in airplanes.
Yeah. Yeah, they're collectible items. Get that first issue of American Airlines.
Do you got American Airlines? Oh, sweet. I've been looking for that.
They fail to recognize that if the big two aren't big anymore, it doesn't mean that all the other companies get bigger. Those companies get smaller too. Yeah, they're the majority of the interest. Let's look at anyone who is trying to get seen in this space. the quickest, best way to do that is still to talk about Batman and Superman and Flash and Spider-Man. That hasn't changed. And, you know, it seems like seemingly now it's to talk about Chainsaw Man and Berserk and other stuff like that I'm not really familiar with. Dale A points out that Global Comics is an alternative to Comixology. It's CG friendly too. Yeah, we had him on, and he's actually getting into print too, which is very interesting. So I don't know. No, I'm not going to speculate on this. We don't have to really talk about it much, but it looks like they're doing a massive up to 75% culling of their workforce. Now, some people say, look, this wouldn't be happening if it was super healthy. And that's the argument. But also, if you remember, Elon did that with Twitter as well. So it could just be they're like, well, if Twitter can run on 15% of its workforce and it's all digital, maybe we can as well. I don't know. And I don't think it's worthwhile speculating yet. But yeah, if I was working in the comic book industry at Comixology specifically, I wouldn't be feeling right now that comics are doing fantastic. And, you know, you would love to see sites like the Comics Beat pointing that out and maybe being a little bit sympathetic and maybe owning up to some of the role that they've played over the years in possibly creating a situation where, you know, a site like this, because I think it's even owned by Amazon, is no longer deemed I guess, you know, profitable. That's why they do these things.
Yeah. It could be like a canary in the coal mine, but then I was like, we've already had 1 million canary in the coal mines, but it's just more and more and more. And you're like, wow, if the digital reading service, like the most convenient thing that a lot of times for the past 4 years, people have been predicting that digital is going to completely replace print and that digital is going to take off or whatever. And that's not happening at all. And that's like a big part of that is that the comics suck. But
yeah, the digital revolution is always being 10 years away for 30 years. So yeah, look, again, I don't know, but it's just another example. We mentioned the stores closing. Look, I hope Heidi gets her wish and we do get weekly sales charts. I don't think it's going to pan out exactly how she wants, although she will say, oh yeah, this is fantastic, look, and it'll all be Berserk, you know, shonen stuff, whatever it is. I'm just saying words right now that sound mangary. I don't know anything about it, but yeah, look, everything is fine. Exactly. Michael says Comixology was merged into Amazon Kindle. Comixology books came over to Kindle Library. It was inevitable that layoffs would happen. That exactly. That I don't want to make any you know, what is it, correlation causation discussion here, because yeah, it could just, I mean, that's just, I think it's happening all over big tech actually. You know, I think Amazon laid off 18,000 people or something, which sounds like a lot of people, and it is to them, obviously, but I don't know how many people Amazon hires. I'm guessing it's probably a small army. Super Mastermind says, Webtoons keeps track of you and what things and what sex and what age is reading what. That's a whole different kettle of fish, because that's all free to read. So it's sort of a different industry.
I'm curious about that, but I know nothing about Webtoons.
I know a little bit about it because I used to be on there. But, you know, I feel like if you leave something for a few years, you kind of don't know anything about it anymore. But it was, look, that's where I think the phantom audience that manga, that like a, you know, DC and Marvel were chasing were. They thought, oh, look, all these young girls are reading romance mangas on Webtoons. If we just turn our superhero stories into romance mangas for young adults, all of them will come over and buy our comics.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Classic mistake.
It's not how it works. Corey says Webtoons always look lame to me. If you're into like really, really good art, yeah, it's not the place for you.
You can find like random ones that are awesome, but they're kind of hard to find. So I don't know.
I did enjoy some. I did enjoy some, but the thing is they don't last long because they're not the most popular there. The most popular there are exactly what you imagine 12-year-old girls want to read who don't want to pay anything. Jennifer Grover, I love you, Michael. Not inappropriately, but I do love you. Thank you so much, Jennifer. That is reciprocated. David G, did someone say Berserk? Only $29.99 on Amazon. Not even $30. Go out there and grab it. First appearance of Ella is on Webtoon. That actually it was Tapas, not Webtoon. I was on Tapas first before Webtoon. It was Zaru says, if we just make Joker pregnant, we'll capture that pregnant audience. Pregnant male audience?
Yeah.
Maybe.
That pregnant Joker audience.
Let me I want to share this. This is Narwhal Books, which is your website. Oh, YouTube, sorry.
Yeah, thanks. You see, I'm at
link
1.8 thousand subscribers, so I'm getting up there. I do live streams every Thursday usually, and I do like little promotion streams like you. I do work streams, and then I got these 4 videos that are all like kind of cool. So definitely check those out. Some of them took longer to make, like the interactivity and narrative fiction one. That's like a little mini documentary, like fully edited and with cool audio and writing.
Yeah, I really like that. I like your sort of approach to explaining it all, and it's interesting stuff, especially if you're into the story creation, writing side of things. You don't have to be a writer. Like you can just to sort of see how the sausage is made, so to speak. It's interesting stuff, and you do lots of live streams there. You are. Everyone do make sure you are subbed to Narwhal. He's a friggin' institution here in Comicsgate.
Thanks. I've been around since the beginning, and it's been a crazy ride.
Since the days when you spent your days, doing ham sandwiches or whatever it was, and making coffee.
Yeah, I escaped the Fred Meyer Deli. They had this guy called the Hawthorne Poker who was poking everyone with rebar all up and down Hawthorne Street in Portland, Oregon. Like he's like a serial killer, but he would just poke you. And like he'd maybe break skin sometimes, but he's kind of harmless.
By poking, did he have something on his finger? Did he have long fingernails?
He had this big rebar, so it's like this big.
An actual rebar. Oh, I thought you meant like poking like this.
So we had to watch out for him going to and from. I had my little scooter, so I'd be.
That's like living in the zombie apocalypse.
It is. Portland's a lot like that. There's literal zombies everywhere, and they piss in the street and stuff. Everywhere you go, it smells like piss. It's weird. I escaped that.
It's such a shame because it is a beautiful part of the world geographically, like up there. If you get out into the rural areas. But,
that's where I am now. I'm on the peninsula, and we got beaches, we got rivers, we got mountains.
I would consider. Is it a good place to live? I just love the look of it, and I think the climate sort of fits with me. I'm not really an outdoor in the sun kind of guy.
Yeah, then you'd really like it. I was gonna say that's the only sort of negative is that the winters are dark,
I don't mind.
kind of. But
I like
they're not
that.
even that long.
I like that. I like being inside when it's rainy and cold outside. I don't know. It just puts you in the mood. Yeah. All right. Everyone do go over there and sub to. Oh, look, you're already up to 1.81. Fantastic. Thank you so much.
That's the Bancroft bump right there. That's a fun thing.
Yeah, I've never had a YouTube bump before. That's fantastic.
Yeah, thanks. And that's cool you watched interactivity too. And I was just gonna say you're right that it can help just viewing. It can make viewing like more enjoyable, I think.
I think it can actually enrich, like when you know what it is, know what to look for. I found this since becoming a writer. It's not like I don't enjoy films the same way that I used to, or movies or TV shows or books or whatever. It's that I have an extra thing that I kind of, I know how stories are crafted now. I know what it's all about. So it's like, it's cool to know this stuff, even just as a consumer of it, even if you're not really thinking about how you're putting it into your own stuff. Cerberus. I notice I did spell it right in the thing. Good. Okay. A Lee Button mystery. All right. Tell us what Cerberus is about.
Yeah. So it's like a dog versus dog murder mystery revenge thing, kind of like reverse John Wick if you pitch it in just like a sentence. But it's like the guy dies, the dog's left behind, the dog knows another dog did it, and kind of goes on this quest to try and like kind of figure it out. And to do that, has to enlist the help of a lot of other animals it's like an animal kingdom in the city. So there's a rat is like one of his best friends. He befriends a bat and a possum, and yes, and they just kind of figure out this mystery. There's like a little bit of a Scooby-Doo kind of aspect to it of it being like, is it supernatural or not, kind of thing, and that's like part of the twist or whatever that kind of gets revealed. And
Zark loves the reverse John Wick. He likes it. You had some art pieces that you were showing off earlier. You want to reshare them now that we're talking about them again?
Yeah,
because they look. It's Monica. Now remind me of her last name.
McCagney.
McCagney.
Yeah.
It sounds like a Dirty Harry name. McCagney.
Yeah. McCagney.
Get in
Monica
here.
McCagney. Yeah.
Man,
yeah.
her style is so good. It's like, I mean, it's obviously cartoony, but you've all seen the stuff that she's done for Vaughn. She's very skilled. I really dig it looks like a cartoon. Like these look like cells from a cartoon, from an animation.
Yeah, it has that feel, which I love. That's kind of like my favorite thing, and it's sort of related to my style, and me and Jared are coloring it kind of like my style, so it still has a lot of like my
it still looks like if someone showed me that first panel, it's still got you in there, and that's funny because that's just from the colors, but I don't know, you don't really stick with super accurate anatomy and everything like that. You're more about gesture, pose, motion, composition, that sort of stuff. And I think she's sort of doing the same. Like, these are pretty caricaturized faces and poses here. So like a lot of the storytelling is happening with the expressions and the poses and stuff. So it does actually really quite fit with what you've done in the past.
Yeah, it's like a natural evolution, and it's maybe a little more accessible if anyone has like not liked my art style in the past. Definitely check this one out if you want to sample some Narwhal writing and try and get on board, because it's kind of a classic Narwhal style story too. It's a long graphic novel. This is part 1 of 2. By the end, it'll be like 220 pages or so, and kind of feel like what you're watching a movie. Basically, it's kind of based off a 120-page script, and it does have these like kind of like 3-act structure kind of stuff.
Yep. Damn. Yeah. Mo points out, Bancroft, you better give a shout out to all Monicas. I do. I love all Monicas, especially this one. Lucky B Rose isn't streaming as much these days. He would totally clip that. It definitely does look like Narwhal's art. Yeah, I don't know how that's sort of working. Coloring plays a big part in, like, if you go back to the uncolored version.
Oh yeah, and it's actually, you can see the art is amazing, and the coloring can mess it up if you don't do it right. And it took me and Jared, and me even before I brought Jared on board, a lot. I went through a couple different colorists myself. I was trying different styles, and it was like slaving over trying to figure out how to make it work. And we got this look that is working pretty good. But yeah, it's funny how much coloring can take away or add or whatever. But
yeah, that's it. Like when I hired Rod to work on a book for me, and I said, I might get someone else to color it. Everyone's like, no, you got to color it, otherwise it's not going to look like the Lucent. And you're right, it does. That could have any other colorist could have taken that in a completely different direction. I would not have done what you did, for example, with the colors there. So
yeah, the way we got it, it's pretty moody, pretty like dark and quiet, and you can hear like the chirping of the like crickets or whatever kind of thing almost. But,
so it is there a main character? Is that him there with the one ear? That's
the main bad guy. Let me see if I can pull up the main character, because this is a thing that applies with Monica. It's called an animation principle called appeal, and Monica is so good at it. And it doesn't necessarily mean that characters are like good looking or handsome, but she draws Lee, in my opinion, like a very handsome, good boy. And where is it? I'm just gonna.
Did you ever there's the thing about like they always make actors in adaptations of stories so much more good looking than they're written in books. And it kind of ruins the story sometimes when a character is supposed to be pretty average looking and the actor or actress that they cast is really beautiful. It's like that happened with Hermione Granger in Harry Potter, where she's supposed like the whole character is supposed to be you know, no one really cares about her. She's very plain looking, but it's Emma Watson. And then she's supposed to have this great ugly duckling to swan moment at a point in the book. And everyone's like, oh my God. But it just looks like what she does all the time. So it didn't really work.
Yeah,
but
that's
they're like,
hilarious.
well, we want to sell tickets. So we want to have good looking people on the screen.
Yeah. Maddie Dub says Watership Down vibes. It definitely, that's probably the animated kind of story that it has the most in common with, that it's like kids could read this, but it might give kids nightmares. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of for kids, but it's like darker. It's not rated R, but this is like 80s kids style, you know, like back when kids could take shit, kids had to run around and figure shit out on their own or whatever.
Yeah. Some of the stuff we watched in the 80s was like Dark Crystal. That scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Even the Never Ending Story was pretty brutal. And that was a beloved franchise.
Do you remember Return to Oz, the sequel to?
Yeah, I never watched it because it scared. Like I saw the
there's like a
trailers.
witch in that one who collects girls' heads and she picks a head each new day to wear. And I'm like, what? This isn't a kid's story?
I want to show my kids The Labyrinth. But I worry that a lot of the puppetry is sort of aged too much. And then you gotta contend with David Bowie's junk in their face the whole time. That could also be a little distracting. It's a great movie though.
They'll be like, what is that?
Even these black and whites look dope. I mean, she's such a great artist.
Yeah.
This looks like this is a cartoonist, you would say. So that's the main character.
Yeah, so that's Lee Button. He's kind of the story, you know, it's a murder mystery, and it's kind of like I keep forgetting the guy's name. The guy from the famous old actor from Casablanca. And he played a detective a bunch too.
Humphrey Bogart?
Yeah, Humphrey Bogart. So it's even kind of like written a little bit like
I'm
like,
shocked I knew that. That was I could have looked like a real idiot there. I said the other day, Keanu Reeves was Superman. And Hamill laughed at me and he said, no, that's Christopher Reeve. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, got that wrong. Slightly wrong.
That's an alternate universe that will slip into that universe if we kill another gorilla or something. We'll be like, what's it called when you remember something that doesn't exist anymore?
I don't know.
It's called the something syndrome. Chad will know that one too. But yeah,
chat are smart. They'll probably will figure that out. I don't know. I lose 20 IQ points anytime I press go live. It just disappears. So you said this is going to be how long? 100 and
this one's 100 pages and the sequel will be like 110. And one thing I know is like this kind of happens in 3-act structure. Like there actually is a middle point, and the middle point can be a really good thing to separate it. That happened with Earthbound too. There's a little mini twist or table turn kind of thing, and that's a good point to separate it. That happens in this one too. So it's like, all right, can do it in 2 versions, and then you're always like, oh, I hope there's a bunch of awesome stuff in the second one. I hope people like the first one too, because it's just building to that, a lot of it. But I'm like, with Earthbound, people almost like the first one more, and I didn't expect that. And with this one, I've been kind of rereading it as I go and color it, and I'm like, oh yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in the beginning. So I'm excited for people to check it out.
Man, you got so much. Are you going back into the Earthbound universe?
Yeah, I'm working on that now. It's going to be because Earthbound hints at the Grand Prix, which is the big fight.
Yeah, I remember I asked you about that ages ago. I was like, are we going to go see more about that?
Yeah, so I'm super excited about that one because I have that whole script written, and that's going to be like part 2 is another 2-volume thing about the fighting tournament. But what's cool is it's like very loosely or like taking inspiration from Enter the Dragon because I knew I didn't want to have the story be a tournament where it's like he fights him and he fights him. He won and he won. Now he fights him and then he won. Now he has to fight him and then he won.
Mortal Kombat Narwhal style. You didn't want that?
Yeah, so instead of that, you do Enter the Dragon style where it's like, yeah, there's this tournament, but there's like things going on behind the scenes, lots of clandestine like spy maneuvers. There's like a shapeshifter that they're trying to catch. So WizKid, who's at the time he's working for like a independent intelligence agency of this ship called the Nantucket, and so he represents them. So they enter him kind of undercover to try and catch the shapeshifter, and then like a lot more stuff kind of happens. So it's like not really about the fighting tournament. It's more about this like spy story almost.
I'm sure it will be fantastic. Earthbound was amazing, so I'm sure it will be great. As will Cerberus. I mean, it looks amazing. It sounds really cool. I've already read and collected a dog. No, it's a cat. It's a mouse story. I should say. Completely an animal story essentially with Scurry by Max Smith, which I'm a really big fan of. So this looks really cool too. Also, you have, now we didn't get to this, but let's just shill it anyway, just a little bit. Narwhal Shorts Compendium. It's a collection of shorts and one shots from Narwhal. He's got 491 backers on it. So if you want to jump in and support this strange man here, go and check out that campaign. Is this, do you have any plans to take this down soon or?
It'll actually only be up like another week or so. Like
there you go. Jump on it now.
Yeah, I'm doing the edits now. And it's 168 pages, I realize. So it's 10 stories. It's long. It's like big, long. And for this one, what I'm excited about too is it was curated from like 30 short stories. So this one, it's like 10 of the best. So
it's the best of the best.
Yeah, so they're
it's
all
the stories that Narwhal rejects that makes the compendium the best.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. And I just want to give a quick shout out. We've got 150 people in here. Has anyone in here not backed the Lucent Waking Dream second edition? This is the reprinting of the first book. It has this cool new cover on it. We're trying to get to 7,000 raised because that's when we unlock the next stretch goal, which is a very cool bookmark by Ray Rahu. You can also get some fun stickers. If you're a member of the chat here, you'll notice these very same, hang on, where are they? These very same cool emojis. I turned them into acrylic magnets for you. I got puzzles. I've got all sorts of stuff on this campaign. And big shout out to the people who've been completing the puzzle, especially the 2,000 piecer, because that ain't easy. So yeah, do jump on that if you haven't.
What? No, yeah. I'm gonna back this one. I actually haven't yet. I've been looking at it at the art and it's awesome. So yeah. Is it on Indiegogo or did you launch your own site?
This is just a it was basically an experiment. I was just gonna make this anyway because I'm always like I should always have something to sell. So I sold out of the first printings. And I'm like, well, it's going to be, 3 months until I launch the second campaign. What if someone finds a video and comes to me and says, hey, I want to get that book. Where is it? I'm like, I don't know. Go check on eBay. So I thought, no, it'd be better if I had to do a new cover anyway. So let's do a new cover and then can do this because you know what? Happening with Indiegogo and everything, this would be a great way to test doing my own website. So this is at lucentwakingdream.com. The next one is going to be painteddeath.com, but they're all going to go through the lucentcomic.com, which I have to set up still. Anyway, cool. I just want to test it out and see if it worked and see how, if anyone could do it, and they can. If I can do it, anyone can do it. So really happy with how this is going. And there's one last thing before I'll let you go, Narwhal. I don't know if you've seen this. The Great Wheel giveaway, brainchild of one Rob Arnold. We did a giveaway last year where we gave away a bunch of cool comics. And it was with 4 of us. And what we did is if you signed up, you went on the mailing list of those 4 guys. Rob thought, screw 4. Let's go 17. And instead of comics to win. It's original art pieces. So we've collected 17 creators. Some of them are artists. Some of them are creators that have, original art from their books that they're making. And we put them all into one giveaway. You go to this website here, thegreatwheelgiveaway.com. Felix Huss has the link right there. Fantastic. Thank you. And yeah, you sign in, you put your name in there, but it says first name, but just put like Mo Biggs. We put in Mo Biggs in the first name area. All these guys are involved, like Kelsey and Reenie and Clayton and Dean and like Shelby and Patrick, all these really cool artists. Dean says, I look so nonplussed to be there. Yeah, you do. What's up with that? Look at that. He's like, what am I doing here? And then what happens? This is the fun part. When the giveaway starts, we select a winner from the pool of people who entered, and we spin this wheel. This is a real wheel that Rob has actually built, and you wouldn't believe what he built it out of. He's got an electric fan sitting on a stand. Jerry-rigged, screwed a big, heavy piece of wood onto the front of it, like too heavy to be able to spin, really, but somehow it works. And then he took an old pop filter from a microphone and hot glue gunned it over so it could reach and do the little, thing that catches on a screw, and he spins it. If it's a thing of amazement to see. If whatever it lands on, that's the prize that you win. It's going to be weird. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be very bogan. It is a bogan wheel. You're right. Awesome one. Why didn't he just buy one? Because it's Rob Arnold. That's why. Why didn't he do it digitally at that thing? It's Rob Arnold. Actually, it works. Look, it's a lot of fun. So please do click that link and go and sign up. It's going to be happening. It's going to be all kicking off mid-Feb. The Wheel of Destiny. I love that. The Wheel of Destiny. Fantastic. So please do that. All right. I think that's everything. I think we got to everything.
Yeah.
It is always a pleasure hanging out. Now I'm going to go into your show soon. We just got to figure that out exactly when that's going to happen.
I think I'll do it. I can do anytime next week. Yeah, but anytime for you too. But anytime we're going to do it soon.
Excellent. Now tomorrow I'm going to have the creator of Wolfsbane on. We're going to do it all over again. That's a cool looking new book. I think it's over on Kickstarter. He seems like a really fun guy. The art looks great. And we're going to have some fun. So I want to thank Narwhal for coming on and hanging out and partaking in that discussion. The biggest thank you of all goes out to the 160, if I count Rumble as well. The 160 amazing, incredible, spectacular, always phenomenal, sexiest chat in all of CG. I will see you guys tomorrow. Until then, I hope you have a great night. All right, everyone. Bye.
Individually, we are weak, like a single twig, but as a bundle, we form a mighty